Hey guys, welcome back to the Chopping Block where we're chopping issues one at a time. I'm Raven Money, Georgia One social content curator, and I'm here with.
Kim Scott, the executive director for Georgia One.
And so today we wanted to talk about nuclear weapons and gun violence. So Miss Kim knows a lot about that, who happens to be my aunt, so I'm calling her auntie through the video. So if you could tell us a little bit more about it, because I don't know a lot about it, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know a lot about it as well.
Yeah, so just kind of giving a brief history about Georgia One. We are a environmental social justice nonprofit based here in Atlanta, Georgia. And also we work statewide, but one of our communities that we serve and we do a lot of work in is in Southeast Georgia, which is a rural area along the Savannah River and what we call the Savannah River site. And so we advocate for nuclear harm reduction. When we talk about nuclear harm, we're talking about nuclear energy, whether it's the nuclear energy from Georgia Power's Plant Vogtle in rural Southeast Georgia in Burke County that I mentioned earlier, or against nuclear weapons production along the Savannah River site, again going from Aiken, South Carolina, all along rural Southeast Georgia. And so there's certainly an intersection between gun violence and weapons of mass destruction and the work that we do in advocating against nuclear harm reduction. The nuclear energy that goes into making power is also the same nuclear energy that goes into making weapons. And so that's the intersection. And so what we really want to do is kind of educate people about not only what we do, but what you can do to make sure that we're not trying to take away anybody's guns.
Right.
We're not anti-war. However, we want common sense gun laws, but we also want the process that it takes to make electricity or to make the weapons to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
So we also advocate for clean energy, and when we talk about clean energy jobs as well as clean energy businesses, but also that the process to make these things do not continue to harm our communities from an environmental standpoint. And then lastly, just kind of talking about, when we talk about the environmental harms, we're also talking about climate social justice too. Because a lot of the communities where these nuclear facilities are located also experiencing climate change. I mean, the entire nation is, right? The world is. So, when we talk
climate change is very real.
Climate change is very real. I say it all the time. And so we want to make sure that we're also advocating for climate social justice. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about that and show the intersection between the nuclear harm reduction work that we do and gun violence and weapons overall.
So I know during my time being a social content creator for Georgia One, I've been doing a lot of research and everything, and I'm starting to realize that nuclear weapons does affect a lot of the pollution that we have, correct?
Right.
So I just want to know, like, what are some ways, like, can nuclear weapons be stopped in general? Like, what are some ways that we can fix it or help it or whatever?
So we don't necessarily want to fix or help nuclear weapons, but the manufacturing and the making of those, right, is really what contributes to some of the environmental harms that we see in our communities.
Right.
So when we see the smoke coming from the stacks from the nuclear reactors, right, that's air pollution. You've talked about that before. When we see the brown water that surrounds a lot of these facilities, whether it's nuclear power or the nuclear weapons facilities, that's groundwater contamination. And so, a lot of that can also attribute to and have attributed to public health inequities. So when we talk about public health inequities, we're talking about asthma, we're talking about even cancer. We're also talking about people not even being able to reproduce that like they want. So, there's some reproductive justice that is also part of this. So things that people can do, obviously, is like the work that we do is educating and informing people about it, but also getting involved in their communities, sounding the alarm, but also educating our lawmakers too on, you know, how they're even allowing these major polluters or some of these private companies to even come in communities that are already experiencing burdens and underserved.
All right. Well, that has been our podcast today. I hope you guys got a lot of information. If you like what you heard and want to see more of it, make sure you like, comment, and hit the bell on the side so that you can be notified when we post. And if you want to see anything, want us to talk about anything, make sure you let us know in the DMs or in our comments. And that has been our podcast today. See you guys later.
All right.